Mother Nature isn't giving the Twin Cities a break. Last week we had snow, rain, and ice. Now some homeowners are dealing with another issue. As Sonia Goins reports, this is one of the worst seasons in years for ice dams.
They're starting to get bad, yep.
Drive down any neighborhood in Robbinsdale and you're likely to find icicles dangling off the roofs of homes. Our recent roller coaster weather is to blame.
Got cold, warm, cold, and now it's really warm.
Greg Platzer is the owner of Totally Guaranteed Painting Company.
You got to pump all the antifreeze out of there.
Besides painting, he also removes ice dams and says business has really picked up the last few days.
I got 5 ice dams to go look at this afternoon.
Ice dams form when warm air escapes from the attic, melting the snow and ice, allowing it to refreeze and potentially cause water damage inside your home.
Steam comes out of it like water. You just cut it like butter.
The small business owner is using a special steamer to break up the ice along the edge of the roof of this Robbinsdale home.
You kind of make a channel so you've got your water somewhere to go.
Ice dams can also cause shingles to pop off, causing water to leak through the ceiling or wall.
Yep, it causes problems. It could get inside of your house. It follows your tape seams down in your ceilings. It gets in your attic. Water gets in your insulation.
There are a few things you can do to avoid dealing with ice dams. Add insulation to the attic to improve ventilation, or rake the snow off the roof, or better yet, call in a professional.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
In Robbinsdale, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The massive snowfall that hit the Twin Cities last week wreaked havoc on people's ability to get around. But that's especially true for people with mobility issues and those who rely on public transportation. As Delane Cleveland reports, Metro Transit is still trying to get caught up.
Shannon, Metro Transit has more than 10,000 bus stops scattered throughout the Twin Cities. With all that snow that we had last week, they're having a hard time keeping all of those stops clear. On any given day, thousands of people use public transportation to get around town. But if you're in a wheelchair, the simple task of getting to the bus stop after a major snowfall can be a challenge.
Pretty hard over the wintertime.
Metro Transit crews have been working since last week to remove snow from high priority areas. That includes places that have the highest usage, as well as locations frequented by people with limited mobility.
There's just no way you can get to all of them, immediately.
Metro Transit spokesperson Laura Bainan says that with more than a foot of snow in some spots, it's not easy work.
Well, the crews are getting a little burned out. They're going to start out again at midnight and go out and tackle some spots. Hopefully there'll be less traffic for them to contend with and to work around, and they can get a lot done.
As difficult a task as it may be, Greg says Metro Transit does a decent job of snow removal.
We've done pretty well.
But with so many stops and a finite amount of resources, Metro Transit wants to remind people that clearing bus stops and surrounding sidewalks is a shared responsibility involving cities, homeowners, and business owners.
In a snowfall like we had last week, everyone needs to pitch in.
In Robbinsdale, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
A prominent site for redevelopment in Golden Valley now looks much different. Demolition work has started at a vacant office building north of Highway 55 and east of Golden Valley Country Club. The site used to be offices for Optum Health. The Golden Valley City Council voted in 2021 to allow redevelopment for a future light industrial business center. Plans call for 2 buildings totaling nearly 400,000 square feet, larger than the previous facility. The developer behind the project, St. Louis Park-based United Properties, says demand for office space continues to trend downward, but demand for industrial uses has gone up. The Osseo School District has posted the job description in its search for a new superintendent. The district recently hired a national search firm and also received feedback from families on what they want to see in a new leader. The district has put together a so-called leadership profile that lists traits and preferred skills for the next superintendent. They include a deep understanding of racial equity, the ability to bring people with different viewpoints together, and a knowledge of closing racial achievement gaps. Osseo schools must replace Corey McIntyre, who accepted the superintendent job in the Anoka-Hennepin district. Osseo hopes to begin interviewing candidates in late February. Now that the state legislature is back at it, local cities are hoping the state's record surplus will help provide funding for road and infrastructure projects. Some believe this is the best opportunity in decades for cities to get state funding. In Plymouth, the city is seeking about $20 million to finish rebuilding and make safety improvements to Chancada Trail, formerly County Road 47. In Maple Grove, the city is pushing for $18 million to cover the remaining costs for the community center expansion and renovation project. A voter-approved half-cent sales tax will pay most of the cost. And in Brooklyn Park, Hennepin County officials are requesting $26 million for an organics processing center that would convert food waste into natural gas. Such a facility would be the first of its kind in the Midwest. If you're already tired of the snow and slush, consider making a trip to the Robbin Gallery to be inspired. Their Home and Away exhibit features photographs from here in the Midwest as well as countries overseas.
And if just one little photograph gets your mind kind of thinking along those lines, hopefully it'll put you in a happy place or a place of wonderment or, like I say, the urge to discover something new that you haven't seen before.
Gallery Director Jean Johnson says this is the first all-photography exhibit the gallery has hosted in some time. But the selection committee hoped people would see the images and be inspired to explore. The exhibit includes the work of Tomas Alvarez, who takes photos in the upper Midwest, and Autumn Carolyn, who has photographs with accompanying stories from all over the globe. This show is currently on display through January 29th at the Robbin Gallery.
The Totino-Grace boys basketball team is ranked #1 in Class 3A this season, while Maple Grove is ranked 4th in Class 4A. The Eagles and Crimson matched up on Friday night, and Jason Malillo has the highlights.
It's 6-1 Maple Grove hosting reigning Class 3A state champion Totino-Grace in boys basketball. Tayson Chapman penetrates for the Eagles and finds Patrick Bath for the hoop and foul. At the other end, Henry Stang quick catch and shoot three-pointer is good for the Crimson. Chapman creates again, slashing into the lane and dishing to Will Brands for the basket, putting Grace up 15-6. The long ball keeps it close for MG as Will Bowman cans a baseline three-pointer. Final seconds of the first half, Tommy Humphreys gets the steal and he's off the other way for a one-handed jam. TG up 26-23 at the break. Second half, Edwin Dorber strong drive and he scores off the glass for MG. Dorber nets 10 points. Nice pass by Raul Vidia to Lincoln Palbicki, and the big man eludes the defender and scores. He leads Grove with 14 points. But it's the Eagles' night. Isaiah Johnson outlet pass to Bath, and he elevates for a big dunk. Grace up a baker's dozen. Then Johnson gets separation and swishes the jump shot for 2 of his 16 points, and Totino-Grace wins 65-56. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
The Armstrong boys basketball team was looking to get back on the winning side of the ledger as they began the 2023 part of their schedule at home.
Armstrong boys basketball looking to break a 4-game losing streak at home to take on Elk River. Off a missed Falcon shot, the Elks' Cade Osterman with a long pass down court to Dario Balacedia for the layup and an 11-4 Elk River lead. Armstrong's Desmond Ware hits a runner in the lane, banking in for 2, tying the game at 13. TJ Coette passes to Jack Lockmiller for the lay-in, and Elk River takes a 3-point lead into halftime at 31-28. Second half, the Falcons' Seth Newbern steps in for a steal and takes it all the way for a big dunk. That play seems to get Armstrong going. Just a few possessions later, Newbern forces another turnover, and he goes in alone again to score. Armstrong has the lead for good at 42-40. Newbern scores 19 points on the night. Another Falcon steal here leads to a layup. This time it's Ware. He goes in for 2 of his 15 points. The Falcons lead by 10. Good passing here, and the Falcons find Charles Scott alone underneath the basket. Armstrong goes on to win 63-55. The Falcons also beat Minneapolis Washburn on Saturday.
High school gymnasts have about a month to sharpen their routines in time for February section meets. A handful of local teams competed in a big meet Saturday in Brooklyn Park.
The 15-team MGGOA Gymnastics meet. Sponsored by the Minnesota Gymnastics Judges Association and hosted by Park Center. The team split into two divisions. This is Osseo's Maya Strand. She records a score of 8.275, tops for her team on the vault. The Orioles finished sixth of 7 teams in Division II. Champlain Park's McKenna Bloom recorded her team's best score on the balance beam with a mark of 7.5. The Rebels finished with a score of 115.4 to finish fourth in Division II. A great meet for Park Center's Maya Woods. She lands with a score of 9.275 on the vault, best among all Division II gymnasts in the meet. Rec's team competed in the 8-team Division I. This is Annika Gola. She records the team's best score on the floor exercise, and even 9 for her. Rec finishes 5th in Division I with a score of 128.85. Kaylee O'Brien is Champlain Park's top all-arounder on this day. She scores an 8.35 on the floor exercise, good for a 4th place finish. Woods wins all 4 events in Division II, including the uneven bars with a score of 8.6. A good day for the host Pirates as they score 123.85 to win their division. In Brooklyn Park, John Jacobson, CCX Sports.